fine-tune things out. I was talking to Matt before we got on here that I went and got some new equipment today and trying to figure everything out with that and trying to make my Diamond in the Rough podcast a little bit higher quality. But we're learning. We're learning on the fly, especially when that's the thing when I do live as well, man. A lot of people with the podcast will go back and edit it. I like the thrill of being live. I feel like it's more genuine and, we just roll with the punches. There's always going to be mistakes when it comes to making this show, man. But anyways, without further ado, everybody, this is who I was hyping up and talking about before. This is Mott. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more of a reintroduction because I think my audio was out a little bit. But anyways, we're joined by Matt tonight. Matt was a big part of the Lions, Peoria High Lions, state runner-up, IHSA, finishers this past year. He was a volunteer assistant. It was his first year, got the opportunity to do that. Matt actually has been battling since he came out of the womb. He got the chance to share with me that he was born three, he's a big guy now, but he was 3 months premature, healthy man now, looking good. And he was dealt with some cards. It was a rare brain condition, water fluid in the brain from the spinal. And what was the name of it again? The technical name?
Hydrocephalus.
Hydrocephalus. See, I was trying to talk to him about the correct way to pronounce that. But anyways, he wasn't able to play football because of this, unfortunately. But Matt's always loved football, and that it was tough for him at a young age because he wanted to partake. He told me that he wanted to be a linebacker and be able to, lay some dudes out across the middle. And unfortunately, he had to adjust. And like I was saying before, I had to make adjustments as well when it came to my baseball journey. But Matt wanted to be a part of the game somehow. So what he started doing, he became the team manager at Stark County. And at Stark County, he was just fell in love with the game. And that was a smaller school. So it was kind of an adjustment also from him jumping from the 1A to the culture shock is how he worded it with the 5A and Peoria this year. But he did it, and he loved it, and he got to be a part of a great winning tradition when it comes to Peoria High Lions football. So I love having people on here, Matt, that share the same passions and ambitions, when it comes to sports, music, anything, man. I love it. I love seeing people out here grinding, chasing their dreams. And Matt explained to me his main goal is to one day to go from being an assistant and working his way up the food chain to one day maybe being a head coach of a program. And until he gets there, he's just going to keep grinding. I know he works full time. I know he's dealing with some health issues that I'm going to let him have talk about. And this past season, we're just going to recap his experience from life this past season with Peoria, and also his new job that's going to be as an assistant for Macomb now, where he's going to be a little bit more hands-on when it comes to dealing with actual players on the field and coaching them he isn't sure what position it's going to be, but he's just excited for that opportunity. And also he's finishing up his degree, so he will be involved with elementary education, where he wants to become a physical education teacher. So anyways, Matt, how's it going tonight, buddy? I hope I got all that out, and so everybody understood where we're coming from here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So just go ahead and give us a little bit of background, man. Tell everybody who isn't aware of who you are and what you'd like them to know about you.
So, like Andrew said, I grew up in Stark County, another small school power in football. When I was in school, we had a 23 year straight of going to at least the first round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
As when I came in as a freshman, we hadn't won a playoff game in 6 years. My junior year, we flipped a switch, went to the quarterfinals. Us upperclassmen said, that's not good enough. We knew we were better than that. We lost in the quarters by 6 points, and we didn't want to feel like that.
Yeah, forget about that.
We went right to work right after Christmas. And flipped the switch and went to Champaign the next year. Unfortunately, things didn't go our way. Ran into a number 1 seed that was pretty potent in Concord, married Triadosia. Yeah. So the sting of losing a state championship, it's there.
And that's what we were talking about before too. The irony,
Yeah.
the irony as far as your senior year dealing with that high school as being a part of that with Stark County, and then one of the best high school state championships I ever got to watch was you guys this past year, and just the pain and watching you guys just come up just short. But man, what a ride though, man, and there was nothing to be. It's so hard in that moment. I mean, we look back at the Eagles. You look at Jason Kelsey, him being that close, man, and having to embrace Travis and just Travis crying and the emotions, getting so close and then not being able to completely get it, man. But then, Jason talked on his podcast. He never thought that he would lose the Super Bowl and be crying tears of joy. He's crying tears of joy thinking about his experience with his mother and how big it was for them to even be there. And you just gotta, hopefully, next year they're gonna remember it just like you guys did. And they're gonna take it one step further, and they're gonna get that state championship next year.
Exactly. Those guys over there at Peoria High, I've got great respect for all those guys over there.
We got a couple of them commenting on here too. Bryson T. Crop, my big Matt, and then Michael Tumbleson. Hey, Coach. We got some guys on here.
Those Peoria High guys were great. And I have the most respect for Coach Thornton and what he does over there with that group. And I have a feeling that Peoria High is going to run it back again and be right back in the same situation. No,
I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. But talking about Coach Thornton though too, man, and how he opened up this door and gave you this opportunity. Tell me a little bit how that came about and how you got in contact with him.
We had reached out through Twitter the first COVID year, and I had checked to see if they were looking for an assistant, and things just didn't link up for me. And then I took the year off of coaching, and then I reached back out to him after Christmas, and he was like, "Yeah, we're not going to wait till spring."
This was December of 21, correct?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
We reached out, we connected, went and had a 2-hour interview with him and Coach Bloom.
How was that interview? Were you nervous going into it, man? Like knowing Coach Thornton?
I mean, actually sitting down with Coach Thornton for the first time, one-on-one, I was a little intimidated. He's a big guy.
So what was the first thing he said to you when you walked in there? You remember? Like, what was the first question he asked you?
He was like, "So, football, passion." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I eat, breathe, sleep the game." I said, "I'm a film junkie."
Did he know your story going into it before meeting you?
No.
As far as okay. So what was his reaction when you told him that you never played and you were team manager, you loved the game and being around it? So, like, what was his take on that?
He was like, "Well, we can find something for you to do," and we filled out all the paperwork and just had to wait for all the other background stuff and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Isn't there a test or something you have to take to even when it comes to volunteering at the IHSA or IESA level?
Yes. So I did not have to take that test because I had already taken the class when I lived in Iowa.
Okay.
So I just transferred everything from Iowa to Illinois.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that that's how that worked.
Yep.
'Cause I think as far as like officiating, I think you do have to get certified in different states and
certified, and then you got to pass background checks and fingerprints, all that good
stuff. So, I mean, that's just so cool. I mean, I'm sure he loved hearing and just I know from speaking with you these past few weeks as we've been getting to know each other a little bit better, your passion and. Yep. He loves passion, man, and I love passionate people, and I love having passionate people on this show and being able to just talk about what where you're at now, why you're, you're volunteering, man, and there's a loss of that. Even when it comes to rec sports right now, it's so hard. No parents want to go out there and coach rec league kids. They don't act like they don't got the time, and it just you doing this, man, and just putting in the grunt work right now, man. Like I told you, it's gonna pay off eventually. Like I'm doing. I'm not making a dime on this right now. That's fine, man, because I'm doing it because I love it. And at the end of the day, hopefully, I'll get to that point where I
Yep.
can do this full time and make a living off of this. And I know that you have that same exact goal in mind when it comes to coaching and educating and raising young kids. So what do you love about coaching, man, and working with the youth? And what's one of your biggest mottos that you instill in these kids?
I mean, I've been coaching youth sports for probably 10 years now. I've coached youth baseball with Coach Tumbleson that's on here.
Mm-hmm.
We've coached baseball together, semi-pro football together. It's just, I love being around the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get to do that in high school. I mean, yeah, I was around the guys, but not the way I wanted to be.
So was there any kid in particular or kids that went with you this past season at Peoria High that maybe you felt like you connected with on a different level and that you were able to pass along good advice to them? Anybody specifically that you encountered during this time at Peoria High?
I mean, we all know about Malachi.
Yeah.
I mean, I stay in touch with Malachi, Landon,
Mm-hmm.
Deuce, guys like that. They really know the work ethic and what it takes to get to where they want to be.
So do you think you were more, because like I've noticed this because I volunteered coach too, and I started doing that even back when I was back at college, baseball, high
Yep.
school baseball. My dad is a educator. He's a principal now, but before that, he was the head coach of my junior high baseball team here at Beverly Manor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in high school when I came and helped those young kids, man. And then, you're 32, I'm 27, but just it's something about us younger guys with these younger kids. It's like more relatable. I don't know. It's sometimes easier for them that they can maybe confide in you and trust you and being able to maybe see that you can look at things from their perspective, because you've been there before. Do you feel that as well?
Yeah, I really do. The stuff that we experienced this year, I'll take that with me for the next however long I'm coaching.
Yeah, man.
Those are lifelong memories that I made this year. And
100%, man. And you guys overcame adversity from, dating back to that first week against Metamora, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to talk more about you and your adversity. We already talked about we've been battling since you came out of the womb, man. But I just wanted you to share with the adversity that started back in February of 2022 when you got that tragic news and how you had to adjust after just being probably riding cloud nine of being an opportunity to be a part of this football program 2 months earlier, and then you get that news that you got to deal with, and then later on in September you also had to deal with something else that got through at you, man. So and just to say this, you were at every single game still. Nothing stopped you. You were still there, and that just goes to show the type of man you are and the character and you just showing these kids that no matter what life throws at you, you got to keep going. You got to get knocked down, get back up. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about that, man.
so February 26th of 2022, I get a phone call. I had been sick the week before. Thought it was COVID. No, it was way worse than COVID. My white blood cell count was 84,000. I was sent to the University of Iowa Hospital for further testing. Come back that I had chronic myeloid leukemia. So I have leukemia and it's attacking my bone marrow and my blood cells. I chemo pill every day. Don't let it stop me at all.
What was going through your brain when you're in that? You're thinking it's COVID. When your doctor tells you this, I mean, what's going through your mind at that point when he tells you that's what's going on?
I'll be honest, Andrew. First words were out of my mouth. I said, "Do I got to quit coaching football?" That was the first words. Because, like I told you before, my fiance, knows football and everything else comes even planning a wedding. I told her it's got to be before football season.
Yep.
Um,
What did the doctor say when you said that?
the doctor was like, I don't see why you would have to quit coaching football. He's like, this is a treatable disease. I was like, okay, let's go.
So do they think they caught it in time then, or you?
This form of cancer, there's not really a stage. Um, it's found more in elderly people, is what I've been told.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
So that's just it. I can't even imagine, man. And that just reminds me, like you said, do I have to quit coaching football? And that reminds me of, the whole DeMar Hamlin thing that we all witnessed when he woke up and first thing he said to the doctor was, did we win? Did we win? That's all he wanted to know, if they won the game. That he wasn't concerned about how he'd been in a coma for the past 2 days. He wanted to know if his team won the game. And that just goes to show his passion for the game of football and his love for it as well, and his teammates and the camaraderie that he has with them. So
exactly.
So then you're fighting this all through the spring workouts, and you're still grinding.
Yep.
And then homecoming week. Go ahead and tell us another thing God threw at you that you had to get past.
So the Wednesday that we played the Orange School, as Peoria High calls it, leaving practice, I get in a car accident. Total my car. I'm like, great. Now football's really over for the year.
Well,
thinking I was done.
That's got to be, you're commuting from Bushnell all the way to Peoria too, so not just, your health and everything, but just now you're like, so what happened? How were you able to make the commute and everything after that?
Well, my fiance was quite generous, told me I could get a vehicle to go back and forth.
Right.
We got another vehicle. So that made life easy.
Yeah. And sounds like you got an amazing woman, newly engaged. Like I said, congratulations. What was her name again?
Rebecca Duco.
Rebecca. Okay. Well, and when's the wedding then?
July 1st.
July 1st, right before football season then, man. Yep,
yes.
You're getting it right in time. Yeah, man, and it's just goes to show your character, man, and you being able to fight and adjust and work through this, and just goes to show how passionate you are about this game and love exactly what you do. So your role in the team was mostly film this year. So I want to go ahead and go back to week 1. So it's your first time, man, and what a first week I've experience for you coming from such a small town school. Like you did explain to me, shell shock, and then second quarter, about 9 minutes left, man, absolute pandemonium breaks out at Peoria Stadium. And there's people running, players running, jumping fences, having absolutely no idea what's going on in that time. You said you were on the sidelines before you went and started filming, man. So break that down to us a little bit, man. Just that shell shock of an experience. It's like, what did I get myself into? And now, man, or what's going on?
Me coming from a small 1A school, going to 5A football was quite different that night.
Right.
I was kind of questioning whether I was built for 5A football after that. But I overcame it like anything else I've done. Our kids were completely.
Walk us through exactly, because you're there on the sideline. Walk us through what Coach Thornton's saying, what everybody's doing as far as instruction and telling, and just break down like we're there. Like tell us what happened. So everybody that doesn't remember this, there was fear. I worked at WMBD, and I was in the newsroom, like I was telling Matt, and there was just so much discrepancy about what happened. So we have police scanners all in there in the newsroom, and what comes over there's a shot spotter thing that goes off that we all have an alert to. So we hear over the wire absolute panic coming out of one of the Peoria police officers' mouth saying, "Shots shots fired, 3 shots fired, Peoria Stadium, all units, all units, all units. That's exactly verbatim what I heard, what we heard in the newsroom. So coming into the season, this is the game of the week. This is everything we were talking about. 2 huge programs. You know, the prodigy of Metamora and the Mid-Illini, their dominance. You know, not anymore. Washington owns Metamora. Shots fired. But in the past, you know, just 2 reputable big programs that everybody was talking so much about this game, and then the story ends up being not even involving these kids who put in all this effort to, you know, get ready for the season. All you coaches, everybody there, and then they're dealing with the noise from the bleachers.
Yeah. So Tim had us go straight to the locker room. We were in the locker room maybe 20 minutes. Felt like an eternity.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you've ever been to Peoria Stadium and in that locker room, it's tight fit.
Yeah.
The stadium, even though it's getting redone this year, it's
then Metamora. So the visiting team, do they not have? Is there nowhere? Because that's what it was like. They're jumping over like they don't know where to even run. It seemed like in that moment, like it was just like absolute panic. Kids jumping the fence and everything, and because that's what. So the police baton. The police baton is such just when something, because there's a fight that broke out, is verbatim what happened. A fight breaks out in the bleachers. Yep. It expands. The officers from Peoria High go up there trying to break up the situation. Panic breaks out, and then the police baton gets hit, and that's what people are saying could have been mistaken for gunfire.
Yep.
And then people are thinking, in that moment, though, this is literally what's going through everybody's mind. There's an active shooter. And you know the code red that they teach kids in school now. Code red drill. If there's a shooter, because the crazy world we live in now, the school shootings, anything. So there's a code red. That's what it seemed like was happening, but nobody, I guess, could prepare for a situation like that on the football field and in such an open area, and that's why I feel like it was so everything's wide open.
Yep.
And if there was an active shooter there, it's just there's the most powerful image I saw was from the PJ Star that I was telling you about, is that father carrying his twin daughters just looked like a picture tells 1,000 words. It's literally just the insanity.
Exactly. It was pandemonium. It was a scary ordeal. After we come out of the locker room, we go to our end zone to warm up. ADs had conversations about restarting the game, talked about postponement. Final word comes down, Metamora decides to forfeit.
Right, and that wasn't initially when you guys left. It was going to be rescheduled for the next morning, limited to like no attendance.
Right.
And they were going to finish the game. And then we got word around, I got a source that told me around like 11:30 that evening that Metamora had decided that they were not coming back to finish the game.
Yep.
And there was so much, it's hard to blame anybody in this situation because just from Metamora and from your guys' perspective, man, like, nobody knew what happened still. And this was the biggest thing that was the confusing part of it. Like I told you, a guy that I know was announcing the game, a close friend of mine from way back in the day. He's the first person I called because I knew he was there trying to get us a source to get the word out to everybody in Peoria. I mean, this is the thing. My job as a journalist is to inform the people of what they need to hear. There's some journalists who they don't want to ask difficult questions. They don't want to do that. They just want to play it safe. But I wanted to dig deeper and figure out what actually happened here.
Yep.
And what he told me, he was announcing the game right in front of the bleachers, and he said, I heard 3 pops. And he's like, Andrew, I feel like it wasn't inside the stadium, but I feel like there was something going out in the parking lot that then escalated over to a few blocks over, because then 15 minutes later, we're getting a report that somebody was shot, grazed in the head, and another person shot over on Nebraska, Wisconsin, right by that Cruisins across there,
Yep.
Ford Drive. So it's like, we're just, but the problem is communication. I know nobody wants to cause panic. Nobody wants to just assume things, but you have no idea how much, like, I'm genuine with what I want to do. I'm not the journalist, the slimy, just trying to get my FaceTime and me on TV. But nothing's reciprocated when it comes to communication between the media and officers, and then Peoria High being in the mix of this as well, because Peoria police said that they're not going to comment on the situation anymore. They're going to leave that up to Peoria High, their administration, the board, D150, and then they're telling us the same thing. So we're just like, it's like, what are we supposed to report on? And it's like, what are we supposed to say if we're not being communicated with? We're trying to communicate with them. We just want to know what happened. We don't want to cause panic, but we need to be at ease and know exactly what the situation was, so everybody else can have a little bit of peace of mind.
Exactly.
So, anyways, man, but like I said, at the end of the day, these kids don't deserve that, man. If you're going to act like that at a high school football game, do not come. There's little kids. I got a 5-year-old kid, man, and these kids running around acting like they're Malachi Washington, trying to, they look up to these kids on the field like they're idols, and they're there. They want to eat popcorn. They want to throw football around on the side and act like they are their heroes, because that's what these kids are to them. They're like NFL players. They look up to them. And just people, if you're going to come to a game and act like an idiot, stay the hell home. Don't come ruin it for everybody else who wants to sit there and actually enjoy this game. That's the bottom line at the end of the day. And I don't care if that offends anybody, but it's the truth. Be professional. Just hold yourself to the same standard that you'd ask anybody else to be held at, is all I have to say about that.
And I completely agree with that 100%. I felt
But man,
the same way.
I feel like that put a chip on your shoulder, though, too. I feel like everybody kind of wasn't even talking about you. Me watching throughout the season, because I cover everything, you guys are sneakily, like, just going on this run. You got the slip-up that happens against normal, and that put another chip on your shoulder, though, too. That adversity you overcame, that rain game, that mud, but like I talked to Malachi, though, too, some coaches, I believe, would rather going in with that big target on your back and an unblemished record of undefeated. Sometimes you need to lose. Sometimes you need to know what it's like, feel like to lose, because you'll never want to have that feeling again, and you'll, adjust. And that's what you guys did. You guys got hot right after that. Malachi said that you guys all rallied together. So tell me a little bit about that. After that normal game, too, what's being talked about? Like, what's the vibe in the locker room, and what was everybody saying?
We were upset with ourselves. We knew we were better than what we put on display that night. There's no way our offense was clicking 60 points a game and score 6. Absolutely not. We all knew it. We knew we didn't put our best product on the field that night. We didn't.
So how did they slow you guys down, though? Like, what was the defense that they were running that was it just focusing heavily on stopping Malachi? I mean,
they just keyed on Malachi.
Yeah, and made you guys one-dimensional. And the way the weather was, it was, because, I mean, the rain, it makes it pretty one-dimensional.
Exactly.
And if you know who's getting the ball every time, then it's a lot easier to handle that.
Yeah. And like we said if we would have played them any other day of the week on a dry field, that game would have been a lot closer.
So, the matchup I kept saying online, I have a TikTok about it. I did it on a podcast. I wanted to see you guys play Pekin. That hypothetical matchup, dude, I would have loved to see it, man. The two running backs on Pekin and Malachi, that would have been, I guarantee that 40 game be in the 40s. And then it sucks because they're 7A and you guys are 5, but I think that would have been a hell of a game.
Yep. Our matchup when the playoff pairings came out, we seen who was sitting above us. We seen Metamora sitting there.
I said that too. I said that. And they got hot. They were a lot different team than they were when you guys played them week 1. They got a lot better as the season progressed. I was like, and they almost pulled it off. They just had to beat who was it that you guys beat?
They would have beat more.
Could you imagine, dude? That's what I was telling my buddy. If you guys met to go to dude.
They would have had to come back to Peoria.
Yep.
To play.
Could you imagine if that? Oh my God! Just the.
You already know.
Yeah, that would have been insanity.
Yeah, because we had unfinished business with those boys.
I know you did. I know you did.
You already know, like we talked before.
Yes.
Malachi, 9 carries, 200+ yards.
That's what we were saying before. Malachi finished with almost 3,400. Imagine if he had a whole nother second half, he would have been closer to 4,000 to finish the season and shattered every record in the book. Even though he did already break the records, but he got half a game less than most people do. So
exactly.
Okay, so you guys get hot. You go in the state championship game. Okay, against Nazareth, correct?
Yeah, they got hot right time. They snuck in at 5-4.
Yeah, so they had a tough schedule, though. Go ahead.
Their first game out of the year, they won 2-0.
That's crazy.
Over
Tell me a little about, before we talk about Malachi. I mean, Malachi has 6 touchdowns, absolute insanity, tying the state record, and just the back and forth of that game. But anyway, I want to talk about that kid, that quarterback for Nazareth, that sophomore, dude. Like I was telling you, that kid looked like a Manning. And I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I see that kid playing on Sundays in 5 years. So what was it like seeing that kid in person, sling it?
Seeing that kid sling the ball, I was just like,
and a sophomore. Like,
yeah.
So
and he had started every game as a freshman.
Yeah.
So,
oh my
he's
God.
going to be a 4-year starter up there for Naz. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Game was exciting. Had a few calls here and there. Didn't go our way.
Mm-hmm.
Had a shot to win it at the end of the ball game.
Yeah.
Things obviously didn't go.
No, any given Friday, I guess, not Sunday, man. It's a game of inches, like Pacino says. And no, man. And that's fine. I know you're a coach and everything, but I'll go ahead and call it like this. There was a touchdown in the fourth quarter that would have won you guys. He was across the line. And the fact that I was talking to you about this, the fact that the IHSA, I'm not saying all year round, I know that we don't have the funding or anything for that, but in a state championship game, when we're already at collegiate D1 universities partaking in the game, where they have the booth review technology on the sideline already, even if it's just the fourth quarter, on a scoring position, I'm not saying to be like, catches and all this, taking it that far, but when it comes to a scoring play, I think that should be that. There's no reason why they could. It's televised. All the state championship games are televised. They have the cameras there. They have everything they're capable of doing. Going and taking a look at 15 seconds, because everybody watching the game at home, like he was in. And the fact that they need to do something about it. I know there was a big petition started on it.
I'll be honest. If you go back and watch that film, and I've watched it numerous times. And I'll give my non-biased opinion. The kid was not in the end zone.
Really?
The kid was not in the end zone on the last touchdown.
For them?
We had Nazareth stopped.
Yes.
Yard.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry. I said it the wrong way. Yes. No. Yes.
We had Naz stopped dead.
No, and I'm sorry. I misspoke there. They called it, and he was short. He was clearly short of the goal line, and one ref go like this, and the other one didn't too.
Yeah. We had that kid stop dead at the line.
And was that was fourth down, wasn't it?
Fourth down.
Yep.
And we still had a shot to win the ball game. So
I know.
Still had a shot. End of the game. pass gets
And we can't sit here and say what ifs, and that's what they're doing in the NFL. It's rigged and all this stuff. It's tough on officials. But that's why I'm saying you have to provide these officials with the technology. The guy made a mistake. He made the wrong call. We're human beings. Like I talked to my buddy Parker about it, who's in a patch official. We make those mistakes. I'm not blaming it on the refs. I'm blaming it on the IHSA.
Yeah.
Because you're not setting them up for success in that situation, and then they have to deal with the repercussions as an official. I'm sure the guy would have admitted it if he saw it again.
And honestly, that's why we're losing the officials around the state. That's why we have an official shortage. Because
you have to set them up for success. And because like me and Parker talked about, I'm 27, man. I started umping when I was 17, and like I told Parker on my last one, my dad taught me when I first started officiating, which I still umpire baseball and everything in the summer just as some extra cash flow for me. Single dad, 5-year-old kid, got to pay the bills.
Yep.
But anyways, he told me, even when I was 18, he said, do not let them walk all over you, because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And I did. You got to stand your ground. And I told Parker, I have no problem with having a conversation about something with you. If you treat me with respect, I'm going to do the same thing. But if you don't, I'm going to do the same thing as well. And it's just how it is. And nobody wants to get chirped. And it's like, hey, buddy, over there with the beer gut sticking over, with salami sticking out of your mouth, telling me that was a ball, that was a strike. How about you come out here then? And they don't want to,
Exactly.
And it's just,
I get it completely, because
I umpire. I told Parker, I love the kids. I don't care if a kid talks, to an extent, he's not going to be disrespectful, but where do you think that kid learned to talk to an adult or an official like that? Oh yeah, daddy over there. That's where it's coming from. It's not the kid's fault. And these parents need to stop living vicariously through their kids and their glory days and just play. Wait, if you think we're doing such a bad job, $70, go online, get your IHSA patch, and you go and do a better job.
Exactly.
So,
that's what it comes down to. I mean, we already have an official shortage, as you could see during Friday Night Lights. We had a game moved to Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go play Richwood on a Thursday night.
Yep.
And we had our homecoming game moved from a Friday to a Saturday because of official shortage.
Right.
If people want to complain so much, take the test.
Yep. That's all you got to do.
That's how we use it.
Just stop chirping in the crowd and come ahead and you call the balls and strikes, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the hilarious when it's at like the 9U level. That's when it's absolutely hilarious. Like, because you got to open it up sometimes, especially if it's lower level. I'm not gonna have a walk fest. So if the kid's thrown 12 straight balls, if it's anywhere close, I'm calling it a strike. Swing the bat. Swing the bat. And I'm not going to sit here and deal with it. I don't get paid that much to be out here, and I'm going to be out here an extra hour just while the kid's walking everybody. It's not going to happen.
But yeah, I mean, the experience to be back at Memorial Stadium was great. To be down there with the guys, everything, something I'm not going to forget.
I bet you won't, man. And then what will you take away most from what Coach Thornton or any of other members of the staff taught you while your time there?
Just the work ethic that you got to be ready to come to work every day.
Yeah.
And to adapt and adjust on the fly like we did after that normal West.
After the normal West game? Yeah.
We had to.
Yeah.
We fixed that next week at practice.
Yeah.
We took care of ball security.
And like I said, you guys are champions in my book anyways, man. Like, whatever. It's just the run you guys went on in the game, like, you guys didn't back down, and you guys just kept fighting through, man, like Lions do. And just I like that article I wrote when everybody blocking out the noise from the crowd, man. That's what you guys did. And you the coaches, you kept those kids locked in on the field and not focusing on all the hoopla that's coming on from all the things that don't matter, you know,
Exactly.
from the media, from everybody in the crowd. You guys kept focused, and you still are state runners up,
Exactly.
and not a lot of teams will ever be able to say that they were there and they got to experience that. But it's a bond between those kids and you coaches that you'll have for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the new job then, and why you took it and everything like that.
So after the season, I had talked to my fiance about trying to move closer to home just because of the drive time. An hour and 30 minutes one way every day, plus trying to work a full-time job was just wearing me down.
Yeah.
So I had reached out to a few schools via email or called the schools. Had got a hold of Macomb, connected with Coach Horrell, went in for an interview, was in my interview maybe an hour and 45 minutes. He said, if everything sounds good to you, let's get the ball rolling. Been grinding since January.
Yeah. So what Coach Thornton said when you decided that you had to make this move though?
He wished me luck.
Yeah.
And that was how that.
Yeah, man. I'm sure he understands. You know, you got a lot on your plate right now, and I'm sure that he'll always be there in your corner for you, man. I want you to tell. Matt's sending me a wristband in the mail, man. I wanted to plug this a little bit. You got it on you right now?
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of them right now, but I take one off so you can see it.
Yeah.
1 second. What do I need? Here, I might have to flip. Let's see. Trying to get it lined up.
I mean, hold it up a little bit more, buddy, so you can. Yeah.
It says can't.
Okay. What's it say then?
It says
Cancer sucks.
Yep. And then it's got 2 footballs on the side of it.
Okay.
And then it's got my last name, and then it says Mott Strong.
Mott Strong. Okay.
So,
yeah, man. So how can people get those?
I have them at the house. They can cash at me.
Okay.
Or send a message on Facebook.
Yeah, and then where are the proceeds? Are they going to your medical expenses that you're dealing with and everything right now?
I was using it when I was living in Iowa to go back and forth to the University of Iowa Hospital.
Yeah.
Now we just drive to Peoria.
Right.
About once every 3 months.
Yeah. You're sending me one, man, and I'm gonna plug it. I'm gonna wear it, and I'm gonna put it on here and have them be able to reach out to you because I want to help with that very much. I'm also in the process. I'm gonna be getting some Andrew Zaiser news. It's gonna be a diamond in the rough shirts. I'm gonna start giving them away. I'm gonna give them away to every person I have on my podcast, and if people are interested in buying them, I'm working on finishing out the design and setting up with somebody to finish those. So I appreciate that too. If you go ahead and wreck that for me, man. And I know you've been nothing but you've been nothing. Matt's been one of the most supportive. I've never even met Matt. I mean, this is the first time we talked face to face today. We're both busy, man. But he's didn't even know me that well, but he's been following my stories ever since I started talking about blocking out the noise, the story I wrote, and seriously though, man, it means so much to have because you've been a fan of mine and just listening to me, and that I'm a fan of yours too, man. And I really do truly appreciate you so much for plugging me and supporting me, and it means a lot.
Shoot, every time you're live, I'm following. If I'm not busy watching game film, I'm watching your lives. Ever since you started following us this past season with the whole Malachi situation, and I'm glad Malachi is getting a shot.
Yeah, man.
Go prove himself. It's gonna be fun to follow for the next few years.
This is what separates me. This is what separates me from the other journalists, man. It's like I want to genuinely be able to. I want to help people. I want to be able to tell those stories. And whenever a journalist says, "Did you read my story? Did you read my story?" I don't look at it that way. I look at it. I'm given the opportunity to tell somebody's story that doesn't have the platform to tell it. I'm telling your story, man. It ain't my story, and I just love to. We all got one, man. We all got a story, and just being able to talk to people. I love talking to people that are passionate, loving, man, who just overcame things, man, and not quit. That's what I do this for, man. It's not for me. Yeah, I wanna make it big, but man, I'm not doing this just to build me up, man. I want to be able to. That's why I fought so hard, man, to get Malachi that exposure and 20,000 views, man. And I feel like I did have maybe just a small part in helping him get to where he is now. And it's not. I think he's going to end up at a D1 program. It's not, but he's going to college for free, and he's got a chance now with the new rule that he can transfer from D2 to D1 without penalty. I don't think he'll be at McKendree very long. I think he'll be balling out in a Big Ten program very soon.
Exactly. There's a few of those guys over there that you could see on Saturday.
Landon as well, you were saying, right?
Landon, and there's a couple more, but I'm not going to mention right now because they're still underclassmen. But
yeah, I know. Yeah, I had one of them on my podcast.
Yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah, I sure do. Yeah, man. No, dude, he's a stud too. And they can't start talking till senior year. I don't think or it's junior. It's like senior year they can't start fully.
Yeah, junior year he can start.
Right, and then you can't commit till senior, right?
He can commit as a junior
or like
if he wanted to.
Verbally commit. Verbally, I think he can. Yes, but
I know he's taken some unofficial visits to places, but
nothing
set in stone.
Right. Right. It's just all crazy with this transfer portal stuff, man. Yeah. It's just the game's changing so much at the collegiate level.
And then the NIL deals that are going on now. Money's getting thrown around. I mean, look at the kid that was going to go to Iowa, and on signing day flips his commit from Iowa to Alabama.
Yeah.
Because of the NIL deal.
How can you blame a kid though if you're showing him that money and he's coming from nothing too? These kids, you throw that because still these kids are studs, but less than 1% of them are going to be professional athletes. So if they can get paid for this, while they can and be able to do that before they begin their career, I mean, it's better. I'd rather see a kid who deserves it and works hard than just the program getting all the money. To be honest with you.
Exactly. And I mean, with me being at Macomb now, with Western being right across town, you see it on Twitter. Western contacting kids every day.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, come do this, yada yada.
Yeah.
Now Western's literally right across town from me.
Yep.
I'm right in their backyard to where I could get in there as a GA, hopefully, one of these days.
I love it, man. I love it, and I believe you're gonna do it, man. And I just don't quit, man. And I know you ain't a quitter, man. You're a fighter, man. And I respect the hell out of you for it. I
got a countdown going on the phone. High school football season will be here before we know it.
I love it, baby. I love it. But hey, no pitchers and catchers reported today, and unfortunately, you guys had a catcher report to you that
he's already hitting.
A little bit different. It's a little bit different from the one you've had for the past 20 years. But we already had this conversation for the phone. Yeah, you stole my boy.
He's already hitting bombs for us too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. You all better treat Wilson good. He's a good man, and I'll miss him. I'll miss Wilson Contreras very dearly. But I'm ready for baseball season, man. I'm so ready for baseball season. March Madness right around the corner. Our
house is a divided household though, because she's a Cubs fan. I'm a Cardinals fan.
Okay. Some of my best friends are Cardinals fans. It's a friendly rivalry, man. We can go to hell. I love Wrigley Field. I've been going since 1998, watching Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire go back and forth. But nowadays, it's so expensive to go to. I don't mind going to Busch to watch the Cubs Cardinals play because and going to Ballpark Village across the street and having a good old time. So yeah.
But yeah, if I go to Western, I think the fiance will be a little upset with me. She's an ISU grad.
Oh, she'll be all right. She'll be all right.
The whole rivalry.
Yeah.
Now
well, it's not like it's but not as big as Bradley and ISU though. Yeah.
The dream school is to go back to Iowa City. I want to go to Iowa City.
Oh, of course, man. Man. I mean, my dream used to be ESPN one day, but I mean, just media and everything, man. I love building my own platform, and that's the crazy thing, dude, about now. People don't want to listen to the news because of the media and how fake it seems and not genuine. This is what people always tell me and why they like tuning into me. There ain't no bullshit on here, man. It's literally just people want to hear people having genuine conversations, just talking. And that's why I love Joe Rogan so much. Like Rogan said that that's the crazy thing, that a kid like myself could have his own studio in his apartment, and he could one day have the #1 podcast in the world. And it just people take so much more stock in podcasts than they do the news because how much fake stuff that comes out of the platform, man. So that's my end goal is being able to work for myself and build my own platform like I'm doing now. And I'm doing it by myself, and I'm grinding every day just like you are, man. You see it, and I'm trying. That's all I can do.
But yeah, I'll probably, when I get off here, it'll probably be right back to game film.
Yeah.
I already know who's coming week 1. So
who we got week 1 to look for? Who you guys playing?
We have a co-op. It is the Lewiston Valley Cuba Co-op.
Okay.
They will travel to Macomb that first week.
All right, man.
And then we got a non-conference game. The farthest game we go in the regular season is 3 hours away.
Okay. And then what's the countdown?
Give me 1 second. I can tell you. Six months and 9 days.
6 months and 9 days until high school football. Friday night lights, baby. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, baby.
Exactly.
That's right, man. Matt, I just want to thank you again so much, man, for hopping on with me tonight. Again, Matt's got those wristbands, guys. She'll go ahead and hold it up again, man, so that everybody can see it. If you guys want to purchase one of those, you can get a hold of him at Matthew Mott on his Facebook page, man. It's helping with his battle and his commute with the leukemia that he's battling, and any donation to that would be much appreciated. You guys can message me and get more information about that, and I'd be happy to help you get in contact with him and how you can get more involved. I'm going to be repping one. I got one in the mail coming. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Dude, I just want to end on saying that you inspire me, man, and I know you probably inspire a lot of these kids, just showing that just because there's an obstacle in front of you, man, doesn't mean you got to turn around, tuck tail, and just feel sorry for yourself and give up, man. You did the opposite, man. It motivated you, and you didn't quit, and you're not, and I don't see any quitting in sight for you, man. So
no.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing that and being an inspiration and doing what you do for these youth, man. So is there anything you want to add before we hop off of here?
Just gonna get back to the grind and be ready for fall. I mean, granted, I got a major event coming up in July, but
plug it.
It's already planned out and everything. The wedding's already planned. I'm just ready for that to be here and there.
Yeah, man.
The head football coach is going to be.
Hey, I better be getting an invite.
Yes,
I don't mind a good wedding, man. I'll come. I love me a good wedding, so I'm all over that. I'll be expecting that in the mail too.
Yeah, I'll stick that in your envelope. Yeah, she knows she's all football too, so she understands that.
And man, you're a lucky man, dude. You're a lucky man. What I've always said, I want to find me a woman that will go to the golf course with me and, go golfing and be able to talk football. I'm still looking. So, hey, ladies, anybody out there? I'm single still. Ain't no ring on my finger.
Let's just put it this way, Andrew. She sat through the rainstorm at Normal West. Then, when we went to Mascoutah, in 6 inches of snow, she sat through the freezing cold snow. So
that's a keeper, buddy. Exactly. That's a keeper. Good for you.
She watched me come out of the booth bawling my eyes out at the state championship.
Yeah.
It was the first one to grab me.
That's what you need, man. You need a woman you need a woman you can come home to if you've had a bad day, and she'll sit there and listen to you, and vice versa for her. And if you had a good day, she can be just as happy. And so, dude, I'm happy for you, man. I really am, Matt. And I just want to say one more time, guys, this is Matt Mott, and he was the assistant this past year, a volunteer assistant with the Peoria High Lions, and he is now transitioning to be closer to home and to be able to get back and forth for his treatments and everything, closer back to Iowa. And I just wanted to go ahead and say he's going to be at Macomb, coaching at Macomb High School, the Bombers. If you guys want to go check him out, he said 6 months, 9 days, first game. And he's also got a big day coming up July 1st. He's going to be marrying the love of his life. And I will see you there, my friend. I'm expecting that invitation in the mail.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Can't
buddy.
wait.
Hey, thank you again so much, dude. Seriously, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm in your corner. I know you got a lot of people in your corner, and I can't wait to see what you end up amounting to one day, man. And keep going, man. That's all I can say.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the support.
No problem, man. Hey, guys, again, this was another episode of a Diamond in the Rough podcast. This is Andrew Zaiser, and I was happily joined by one of the biggest inspirational men who's fighting and not going to quit, Matt Mott, who is going to be the assistant volunteer coach at Macomb, chasing his dream to one day maybe be in Western or at the University of Iowa. So, again, thanks, Matt, buddy. I appreciate you guys all who tune into this. Please like, share, comment, and I'll see you soon, buddy.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Have a great night, everybody.